Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in this video, we're talking all about kitchen interior design and myths around all of these things. People are gonna tell you a lot of things. They're gonna give you their opinion on what you should or shouldn't do, and I'm gonna address them because some of the stuff just isn't true. It comes down to how you're gonna take care of it. And the first thing we have to talk about, the first myth, is that you can't have wood floors in a kitchen. The reason people tell you you can't have wood floors in a kitchen is because they'll get damaged by the water. Okay, they'll get damaged by the water. If they get wet, they'll get ruined. And that's true, but I need you to ask yourself, and I need you to tell me because I'm a little confused, what are you doing in the kitchen that involves that much water? I don't like fill a cup with water and say, oh, one for me and one for the floor. Unless you're pouring tons of water and it's getting absolutely everywhere and you're not cleaning it up, you most likely won't have that big of an issue. Now, with prolonged exposure to water, like if you have a leak under your cabinetry or something that's getting under the floor, yes, it will buckle, it will warp, you will get mold growing there, but the same thing would happen no matter what floor you choose. A lot of the clients I work with have water damage, they have leaks, and it's often something that people discover in their home and it requires extensive remediation. So, when you're doing that remediation, everything comes up. All of the flooring, we have to look at the subfloor. Is it salvageable? Is there mold growth on it? Does it have to be replaced? Same thing with the drywall, the cabinetry, all of it has to come out. So what difference does it make what type of flooring you put down? Whether it's wood, tile, or vinyl, if it gets water underneath it, it got water underneath it. And most people are gonna sit there and say like, oh, it's fine, it's okay, you can reuse vinyl. Not if there's mold on the bottom of it, honey, you can't. So you don't need to worry or concern yourself to that extent, in my opinion. It's all about the maintenance aspect and how you treat it and take care of it, because there's going to be drawbacks to every type of flooring. If you're prone to dropping heavy things on tile floors, for example, the risk of cracking the tile or chipping it is relatively high. And something that often happens with vinyl flooring that a lot of people don't tell you about, and if it's a roll of vinyl and you move something heavy across it, or it can get a tear or a rip in it, and then there's no patching it, there's no replacing it, you just have to take it all up and put something new down. With vinyl plank flooring, it often happens that unless it's a very high grade and expensive vinyl plank, you'll get gaps in it and the boards shift and move because it's a floating floor. So I mean, in the grand scheme of things, there's an issue with every type of flooring in a kitchen. You have to address what do you have going on in the rest of your house and what functions the best for you. If you are prone to making messes that have to be cleaned up often in your kitchen, maybe just put tile floor down. Go for the good material, something solid, something that's easy to maintain, doesn't have a ton of texture. But remember, tile floor has grout lines, so then you have to take care of that too. Everything is going to be high maintenance no matter what you do. So I don't think sitting there saying like, you can't have wood floors in a kitchen, like, I don't know about that. Like, that doesn't seem true to me. Maybe the bathroom is not the place for wood flooring, but a kitchen, I don't really see that big of an issue with, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. So long as you're very quick about cleaning up what happens, and by very quick, I mean, if you get a couple of drops of water on the floor, it doesn't make a difference. But if you spill something big, it needs to be cleaned up right away, but probably needs to be cleaned up right away whether you have tile or vinyl either. So I think not having wood flooring in a kitchen is a myth, because that just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, like, what are you doing in your kitchen that it's that big of a deal? Share with me what's your opinion. Do you have wood floors in your kitchen? Did you do it and regret it? Or did you not do it and regret it and think it was ridiculous that you didn't do it to begin with because you fell for this myth, this scam that someone ran on you? Be sure you sound off in the comment section down below. When it comes to designing your home, you need somebody that's gonna be honest with you and tell you the truth and give you the pros and cons of everything, and that person is me. Not only am I incredibly attractive and beautiful and look phenomenal in this camera, but I am also extremely intelligent, and I'm gonna tell you like it is, with love. Which is why, if you haven't already, you should book a one-on-one consultation with me to discuss any and all of your design and decorating needs. And as a matter of fact, I have extended the Memorial Day sale I'm offering on my consultation sessions up until May 31st at 11:59 p.m. You can save $50 off of a 30-minute consultation or a 60-minute consultation. The price you see already reflects that discount included in it. There are expanded times available. You should check out, and you can always request a time if we're in a different time zone, which I may as well state that the time you see listed is in your time zone. So be sure you head to the link in the description box down below, check it out. Let's have a consultation to discuss all of your design and decorating needs, because at the end of the day, just a little bit of my time may end up saving you thousands of dollars, or may actually expose the truth about what everyone is telling you. Speaking of something people are telling you or are not telling you, and a design myth we have to talk about, is stainless steel. Especially stainless steel when it comes to fingerprints. Now, a lot of people don't like stainless steel because it shows fingerprints. And yes, there are certain types of stainless steel out there that, they're like fingerprint proof or whatever. And also, I just want you to know, stainless steel is not really like a thing. Like, those appliances are not made out of steel. Okay, it's most of the time like nickel. That's beside the point. Stainless steel appliances are great because they look a little bit industrial. They look like they're out of a professional kitchen. They get you that metallic finish, and they also have a certain weight and quality to them that's wonderful. But a lot of people notice that fingerprints show up on them, and they can be difficult to get off. Now, a lot of people will say, oh no, I don't want stainless steel because I don't want to see fingerprints. If somebody is going into your refrigerator, for example, and they have dirty hands, it doesn't matter if your refrigerator is stainless steel, black, or white. It's gonna get dirty. It's happening. No matter what, no matter which way you look at it, you're gonna have to wipe it down and get the fingerprints off, get whatever is on their hands off of it, like, ooh, disgusting. But you have to clean it one way or another. I don't see why it makes such a big deal that stainless steel gets fingerprints on it. Like, at the end of the day, your appliances are gonna get dirty no matter what, because if you're touching them, it's gonna happen. So what you should consider or look out for is a good method of cleaning stainless steel. I think there are definitely specific cleaners out there you can use for it. If I'm gonna be honest, I used to clean my refrigerator with, like a multi-surface cleaner and then go over it with Pledge, because it like oils the stainless steel so the oils in your hand don't like show up on it, and it worked really well for me. Maybe that's something worth considering in your home. I don't think there's anything wrong with stainless steel. I'm not fazed by seeing fingerprints on it, because at the end of the day, if you can see it, then you know it's there and you know it needs to be cleaned. You may also be better off just maybe encouraging some of those messier family members to touch the handles instead of the actual stainless steel in the refrigerator. That could be something good in itself there. So be mindful of what you're doing and think about it, and think whether or not your concern is realistic. Like, it's gonna get fingerprints on it no matter what color it is. So does it really matter what color it is? Something to think about. Another kitchen design myth that we have to discuss isn't really a myth, it's true, but it's something to think about. A lot of people don't like a shiny or polished surface or finish in their kitchen, whether it's on the countertops, a backsplash, or anything like that, because it shows everything. It's gonna show watermarks, it's gonna show any food that gets on it, or any little speck of dust on it is gonna show up. And the same thing goes for a black kitchen. A lot of people don't like it because you see all of the dust that settles on everything. But there's something to be said for being able to see all of that. And I think that's worth noting. You have to think about what's gonna benefit you more. Like a matte finish on a countertop, a backsplash, it looks good, it's great. You're not gonna see as many of the like smudges or oil and grease marks on them, but you're not going to see the smudges and oil and grease marks on them. So it's a little more difficult to make sure it's completely 100% cleaned. Something like a ceramic tile has a shiny finish on it, or some of them do. There are some matte ones out there too, but they're gonna have that shinier finish on them that you can see, like a classic subway tile. We know when it's dirty because you can see that on it, and it has to be cleaned. And maybe that's something that you like having in your space. You like to be able to see when it needs to be cleaned, because then you can clean it. Or maybe you're like, you know what, it's not that big of a deal, I don't like seeing it, I clean my backsplash anyway, it doesn't matter, so I'm gonna do something that's a matte finish. And I think that's wonderful as well. I don't necessarily think having a shiny surface on your countertop or backsplash, or even your cabinetry, should be a major deterrent. I think you need to be consistent, think of the design, and think of the lifestyle needs you have in that space. I'm all about your lifestyle, I'm all about the maintenance of a space. I don't want to see you be in a space that's hard to maintain or is the opposite of what you need. So I recommend you check out some of my other videos all about kitchens, bathrooms, even living rooms. As a matter of fact, if you've been here for a while, I didn't even have to tell you that because you already knew. And if you're new here, well, at this point, you have the chance to correct things. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join us, become a part of the GarrettLeChic family. You made it this far in this video, and I know what you're hearing is 100% accurate and correct. So you may as well join us, become a part of the GarrettLeChic family by hitting that subscribe button, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would give this video a like. Another kitchen design myth we have to talk about that, a lot of people think is high maintenance and just needs to be addressed is marble, but we're gonna talk about countertops in general, especially marble. A lot of people don't like marble because it is perceived as being high maintenance, and that's partially true, and the reason it's true is because it is, if it's not maintained correctly. The beauty of certain materials is that they age. Just like wood flooring in a kitchen, it's gonna age. It's gonna maybe, patina a little and the color will get a bit darker and, there'll be some wear and tear marks on it, maybe a little dent from where you dropped something. Same thing happens with marble. That's the beauty of the material, and you have to be mindful of that. You have to be aware of the fact that it will age over time and look a little different. That's okay. Are you prepared to live with that though? Maybe not. So that's probably not the right material for you. There are sealants out there. There are ways to get stains out of marble. It actually is, the positive side of marble is that it's easily repaired. So yes, it's easily damaged, but it can also be fixed. Just about anything. You can get etch marks out, you can get stains out. There are plenty of hacks out there for it. But there are other materials to consider. Granite, for example, is extremely hard. It's also known for having areas that are filled with epoxy that over time can flake, so it's something worth considering. Granite also is a little darker. It's harder to see things on it when it gets dirty, so it's something some people don't want. They want to steer clear of. I like granite. I think it's great, and it's actually coming back in. I'm seeing a lot of people do it, so I think it's worth considering, and it's a more budget-friendly option to marble. There's also quartz out there. Quartz can scratch very easily and is made with silica, which is not exactly the healthiest material in the world, especially during its manufacturing. So there's something to be said for that and worth considering there also. It also is not a natural stone, so it doesn't always look like it, and that's okay too, but you also have materials like wood. You could do a butcher block countertop. That's great, but it has to be oiled and treated, and it's easily damaged and cut, and it could dry out. Like, there's lots of things that could go wrong with it. It does take maintaining in order to keep it looking good. But if you do get it like a scratch on it, if you were to use it like a cutting board, it could be sanded down and refinished, and there you go. You have a brand new countertop. So there's a positive there. Laminate's the same way. It can be scratched, it can be dented, it can be burned, and it's something to consider. There is maintenance aspects no matter what material you choose. There is no completely 100% carefree, worry-free material out there. Like, there are some types of granite you can't put a hot pot down on because it'll crack in half, and it's something to think about. When it comes to what's the right material for you, what amount of work are you willing to put into it? What is your concern, and how perfect are you looking for it to be at all times? I don't mind my house looking like I live here. Okay, I don't mind it looking like somebody does. That's okay with me. If there's a little scuff on the wall here or there, whatever, I can go back, I can fix that, repair it, clean it, and make it look good, but I'm okay with that, and I accept it. That's the mentality you have to take when it comes to a high maintenance material. And then you also have to consider, how much work are you gonna put into it? If your answer is not a lot, then it's not for you. So you should look for something that has more durability and maybe is less high style, less design, or more budget friendly. That's okay too. Just give consideration. What are you gonna do on a daily basis, especially in a kitchen? That's a very hard wearing space. You wanna make sure it stands up to your expectations. Another interior design myth, a kitchen design myth we have to discuss is chrome. Chrome faucets, chrome hardware. I love chrome. I like a shiny material. And right now brass is very in, so like a lot of people are doing brass. I think it's great, but chrome has kind of fallen on the wayside a little bit. And a lot of people also like nickel because nickel has got that silver tone, but it's a little warmer. And I think there's something to be said for that. It also looks kind of like stainless steel, so it matches. Actually, stainless steel, most of it is nickel, so beside the point. But there's something to be said for chrome. And a lot of people are like, I don't want chrome because it shows fingerprints, it shows watermarks and spots on it. And that's true. But I also find that just about every hardware is going to show that. If you are touching something and your hands are messy and dirty, it's gonna get messy and dirty. It doesn't matter what it's made out of. And there's something to be said, once again, for seeing that mess. So I like chrome. I'm okay with seeing water spots on it because then I know it needs to be cleaned, and then I can wipe it off and we're good to go. And you know, usually if I'm doing something, like let's say I'm washing dishes or washing my hands, I wash the dishes, I wash my hands, and then I dry them. I don't go touching everything around my house with soaking wet hands. So I already have either a paper towel or a napkin or a rag of some sort that I'm drying my hands off with, so I can dry the edges of the sink and then wipe down the faucet at the same time, and there you go. So I really think you have to consider, what are your habits when it comes to hardware? It's less about the actual finish. It's less about, this is gonna have watermarks, you can't have it. Everything is going to have watermarks to some extent. It's just about what you're willing to do with it. Like if you get unlacquered brass, those water spots will patina, or they will oxidize a little bit faster, and so you will have tarnishing in those spots, and it'll have to be polished. No. That's not for me. I would never do it. I would never recommend it. I actually talk regularly about maybe considered lacquered brass instead of unlacquered because of that. There's something to be said for that also, you know, but it comes down to, are you ready to just wipe it down every single time you use it? I honestly do that anyway because I don't like to see wet spots in my kitchen. It kind of is like a paranoia of mine. So both my husband and I, we're gonna wipe it down after we use it. When I'm drying my hands, I'm gonna take that rag, wipe everything down, and then walk it into the laundry room and toss it into the needs to be washed bin, and there we go. I don't think it really matters what type of hardware you have. It just comes down to your habits. And every rule is meant to be broken. So sometimes you're willing to just make the sacrifice and say, you know what, the chrome faucet's gonna get water spots on it, but it's so pretty, I just can't live without it. And I think that's okay too. Now, these are some kitchen design myths that you need to be aware of and you need to know, but you also need to know about home decor that nobody needs in 2024. Okay, I'm looking around here, maybe I see a thing or two. Be sure you check out this video right over here, and I will see you over there.